Welcome back to Zoom Bullshit. My name is Will Fisher, and I am hosting, but not funny enough to be presenting. Let's talk about why we're all here. This is Zoom Bullshit. This is where presenters present slides they've never seen before, right here on Zoom meeting for your best enjoyment. Presentations are a lifestyle. They are the mainstay of all corporate things in all corners of the globe, and we think it's wise to make fun of them. This is slide hell. I am not here to make it any better. These slides are intentionally garbage sauce, and that's what makes them fun. This is also an excuse for me not trying to make my slides look better. Very important. Here's how you watch. First off, turn off and silence all your phones. I don't have to say that because you're already in your pajamas in your living room, but it makes you feel like it's a live show because it is. And the performers won't know if you're texting grandma, but like, cut it out. They're performing and you should at least pay attention to them. Or don't, they'll never know. Ask questions via Twitch chat. This is super important because we're gonna answer those questions at intermission and possibly even after if you ask good questions. You decide, but in order to do that, you have to ask great questions. Seriously, ask your weirdest questions. How did this thing happen? Zoom Bullshit goes back a couple of years in my life from when I moved to Chicago. And Chicago is a phenomenal comedy city. And I tried my lot, but it turns out I'm not that funny. So I put together this as a crutch for my own entertainment capacity. And I tried to reintegrate with corporate America. It did not go well. So here's the middle ground, me trying to remember how to tie a tie for a comedy show, and you getting to watch us all do our dumb shit online. So what is this thing? It's a competition. That's what makes it fun. You guys get to vote on who wins. I'll talk more about that in a second. Each presenter has 5 minutes to present 7 slides. We keep them strictly on time-ish because it's a comedy show. Our presenters this evening are all trained, wonderful improvisers from the Berlin comedy scene. We have Sara, Josh, Noah, and I don't know how to do slides, so everyone appeared at once. Followed by an intermission, Caroline, Brian. Then you have to vote for somebody to win. That's very important. After you decide that, the 2 top players are going to co-present the final slide deck, which is custom chosen for its extreme hilarity. All right. Where did all these slides come from? I have a collection. I cultivate this in an online Google Drive folder called Slide Hell. It's actually called that. Also, you guys are responsible for sending me slides. Slides at Zoom Bullshit is how we collect our best and brightest slide decks. Most of the slide decks you see tonight were emailed in by loving viewers like you. We graciously thank you for your contributions both to science and to comedy. So, without further ado, some terrible, terrible slide decks with even worse animations await. Okay, first up, we've got Sara. Come on stage and take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, next slide, please. You could just put on the slide. Just thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to my presentation. This is a loving chronicle of conventional machining, how stuff gets made in the future of fabrication. It's called Take Your Bits, not those bits, those other bits, for a spin. Okay, next slide. Thank you. How many of you have ever felt like Charlie Chaplin, caught between the cogs? I know I have. Next slide, please. Charlie Chaplin wasn't the only one, and neither were you, and neither am I. Who profited and who pioneered from those cogs? It was all of these men, all 6 of these men, who stomped on us while we were stuck inside. Next slide, please. Oh, actually, could you just go back real quick? Just go back to the last slide, if that's possible. Yeah, so I just wanted to name those. Maybe you didn't know who those are. That's 72nd American President John Carter on the upper left-hand corner. That's Weasel Dunham right next to him. He is really famous for inventing the printing press. Next to him, you see the man with the uppity collar. He was quite crotchety of a man. His name is Gerald Winziger. Below that, we had the three Woodwards. They were all responsible for creating metal parts and keeping people like us kind of crushed by the machine. Woodward Winston, Woodward Williford, and Woodward the third. Machining theory. The machining age. You can see in this picture, this is from 1922. This is from the first Time magazine that was ever printed in 1922, machine age ? In fact, it was a machine that printed this image and it appeared in the first Time magazine. It was quite a remarkable thing. And next slide, please. Thanks. Turning. Turning is when stocks rotate and the tool is stationary. Now, next slide, please. Thank you. And milling is when the tool rotates and the stock is stationary. Okay, so what you need to understand here is that turning and milling, they're actually quite similar concepts, except for that the two parts have been swapped around and you're stuck in the middle, okay? Next slide, please. And drilling is kind of like a subset of milling. So drilling, it rhymes with milling. It is very similar, except for that it's slightly different in that you put holes in as opposed to letting the wheat fall through the cracks. Next slide, please. Machining theory. The thin zone model and the thick zone model. You can see that we have thin and thick, just like in normal inconsistencies. We know these two terms, thin and thick. You also find it in machining theory. So when you follow the machine's cogs, you can see the chip, and there's a zigzag. There's a zigzag to that chip, which leans into the small circular part of the wheel that is actually named after the three Woodwards. It's called the Woodward, and the tool extends out of it. Whereas in the thick zone model, you can see that there is no chip or tool connected by a Woodward, but rather the plastic zone is what supports that tool chip contact to ensure that when you are caught in that wheel, when the man is beating down on you, that you are crushed to a fine pulp. Next slide, please. I just like to say about the last slide. So when we find ourselves really like caught in the system, caught in the cogs, like Mr. Charlie Chaplin in that first image that I displayed, you're kind of somewhere in between the thin and the thick, okay? Yeah? All right, machining theory. This quickly evolves into way more math than the nerd night wants to learn about, okay? So if you see here on this first display, if you follow that 1C arrow, or the 1C arrow, it points to the B, but it also points to the line that a D is right next to. And I don't know if you felt like a B before or a D, but I felt pretty bad. I felt pretty bad when I was being crushed like that. And next to it, we have here this display, this formula. That formula determines whether or not you're actually going to survive that kind of crushing. And so that's why it says down here under that image, the sheer strain of cogs pressing down on your fragile bones. Geometry used by Okishima and Hitomi. They were very famous Japanese powerful people who were very good at crushing and abusing the layman. Next slide, please. And this is the part where I pose like Pinky. Okay, so this is the best part. The chips formed are called swarf. Swarf. Really, like I apologize for my language, but I shit you not. Swarf is what it is called. Okay, next slide, please.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks a million, Professor Sara.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next up, we have Josh presenting. So step back up on stage. Oh, yeah.
All right, man. I know a lot of you are scared. I'm scared too, but we got a mission to do, so let's get that slide deck, figure out what we're going to be doing tomorrow. I know a lot of you won't be coming home tomorrow, and I'm sorry about that, but we still got to do our jobs, all right? Your country loves you. Let's do it. That's right. Tomorrow, we're going to kill a mockingbird. All right? And what is the importance of the first part of the mission to the second part of the mission? Let's get into it. Next slide. All right, just so you understand, break down what's going to be happening. First, we're going to go an overview of the first part of the mission and then the second part. Then we're going to connect the dots. Ordinarily, I would not be doing that, but I'm going to give you the intel so you can connect the dots as to why we're doing this. That's in my conclusion. And then again, I don't ordinarily do this, but I'm going to give you my sources. All right, so let's do it. Slide 3. All right. Okay, here's the first part of this mission, all right? Before we get into the school, and I know what you're thinking, oh my God, are we gonna have to kill kids? Possibly, all right? That's what you signed up for, all right? But before we get there, we're gonna go into the origins of Finch's introduction. And there's a possibility one of my contact lenses just slipped into the bottom of my eye and I can't read so good. But there's a long tradition of us fighting on the farm, all right? Now, Finch's Landing is where we're going to be coming in. This motherfucker, Atticus Finch, all right? He is our first target, okay? Then we're going to move into the school. If you see a board that has the read and write problem on it, that is the classroom for Miss Caroline. She is our second target, okay? And that is the first occurrence of EWIL, all right? That's an acronym. I'll tell you about that later, all right? It means emergency washing each little ladle. And ladle, of course, referring to your weapons. All right, third target, Arthur Radley, principal of the school, big mystery of the childhood. I don't need to tell you that. He had a fucked up childhood, and now we need to kill him. All right, this moves us in to the second part of our mission. All right, after we leave the school, we're gonna go slide 4, please. All right, we are gonna put the bodies on trial. All right. All right. Mr. Robinson should has raped Maya Uwell. Okay, so here's the problem. A lot of the folks I have doing my intel and my slide decks have a very thin grasp of the English language. This is not something, we're not going to have a lawsuit about this, okay? We are not going to arrest anybody, okay? We are going to shoot him, but not in jail. All right. So moving on to second part of the second part, all right? Right now I'm having a lot of trouble at home with my Aunt Alexandra. I know I have talked about this before. It will make sense, okay? Arthur Radley was sleeping with my Aunt Alexandra, and that is the reason why we are going to be killing him in the first part of this. I am telling you too much, but I just want you to have an understanding of what's at stake here, okay? My honor. My honor. Do you understand that? Okay? What he did on Halloween was fucked up. He scared me, okay? Slide 5. All right, let's make some connections. I think I've already made these for you, but Finch, right? We're gonna kill him. He's related to my aunt. Oh yeah, he also slept with my aunt Alexandra. All right. The school, Arthur Radley is connected to Arthur Radley for obvious reasons. I don't think I need to make that connection for you, do I? All right, slide 6, please. In conclusion, I think I gave you some real important stuff in the first part of that, some real helpful information that you need to execute the mission, okay? Really was not necessary for you to sit through this or read my slide deck, but we had about 20 minutes to kill before go on this mission, and I thought, you know what? I'll put this together. Jerry's good with PowerPoint, not so good with the English language, but that's all right. The second part of this is really where we get down to it. Let's hit that last slide. Here are my sources, all right? You can see here that I did not read the source material because I got all of this from Spark Notes. Really, you'd think that I wouldn't admit that, but I'm going to admit it. I'm going to admit that this entire report was based on Spark Notes, an image I pulled off of blogspot.com, and thirdly, the actual source material that I'm referring to. All right, men, go die for your country, you beautiful bastards.
Thank you so much, Josh. All right, next up we have Noah presenting. All right, Noah, take us away.
All right. Thanks, everybody. You can sit. You can have a seat now. Have a seat. Thank you. All right. My name is Noah Towson, and this is it's a presentation on. Well, basically, I'm just trying to let people know exactly. I'm trying to show how people, like the lay people, have no idea what is actually going on their phones. So to give you sort of like a case point there, I've titled something my slide here something esoteric like APIs as digital factories, new machines, and I put a question mark there just to make you feel stupid. So there you go. What does that mean? Only I know and a few other people. So let's get into it. Advance, please. All right. Now, I would be lying if I told you don't be distracted by all the graphics on this slide here, but that's exactly the point. I want you to be so distracted and confused by all of this. Let me just before I preface any of this any further, I want you to just look at the graph at the bottom there on the right side that says 24% to 51% internet penetration. Is that not hilarious or what? All right, so let's get started. Nowadays, tech companies capture most of the market value. I spent about 24 hours on the computer last night, just surfing Twitch and buying shit on Amazon. Okay, so of course, if I'm doing it, you're doing it, and no biggie. But here's the point. Okay, 10 years ago, it wasn't really like that, was it? Advance to the next slide, please. 10 years ago, we had something called, what year is it? I didn't put 10 years ago on here. I put 5 years ago. We had Digital Revolution brings out new customer-centric players questioning traditional KPIs. Now, KPI stands for Das Kapital Protectorate Integratorius, which is part of Karl Marx's Latin version of Das Kapital. And what he was saying was a workers' revolution, but here in 2015, we're talking about a digital revolution. So just keep that in mind. Are you confused? Because that's the point, okay? Tech companies took advantage, okay? They took advantage on traditional companies, all right? But the moment we entered the digital revolution, we entered a political revolution, a revolution also in our hearts and our minds. And that's what a lot of these digital companies are doing now. They're seizing on our hearts and our minds. And that's why we're spending all this time on Amazon, on Facebook, on telling people when we're safe and all that kind of stuff. And they've got a grasp on the capital of our soul. And is that confusing? Yeah, that's confusing. It's tormenting. We have a lot of conflicting thoughts on that. Next slide, please. I'm going to start wrapping it up soon. So we're going to blaze through this. Okay. All right. So we all know what a brand is. That's why it's put in quotes, because we don't know what it is. Next slide. All right, digital native. That's you. That's me. A cosmetic company. Nuh-uh, it's a tech company now. Oh, you think? Let's say, for example, Glossier. They're a cosmetic company. No, they spend 99% of their time online. They're a tech company. Who do they hire right now? They hire back end, front end developers. All of those guys. Full stack fuck offs. You know what I'm talking about? All right, next slide. Now, vertical integration. We learned about this in social sciences when we were about 10th grade. Vertical integration is when you own the means of production and also the ends of the production, right? You have the ore, you have the mine, and you also have the railroad that uses the steel that was built from the ore that you got from the mine. And how does that relate here? I don't fucking know. Next slide. Okay, and here's where it all wraps up. All right, becoming a software company works. It does. You just gotta believe me. But you won't get a differentiated competitive advantage by installing an ERP better. All right? Thank you.
Really appreciate that there. So thank you so much for the first half of our presenters. Now we're going to answer those questions that you so awesomely posted up in Twitch. So if you haven't asked every question you ever wanted to ask of anybody that's presented so far, now's your chance. Start those questions a-flowing into the chat, and we'll get them answered. So if I get everybody else up here on stage, we're going to entertain you. Answer those questions. If you have to pee, do it now, but do it fast. All right. So, Todd, do we have any questions?
Yeah, the first question was, why does it take so many people to kill a mockingbird?
Sir?
When?
You.
Kill
A mockingbird.
There's
Extra.
Meat.
so
Eat.
it.
Thoroughly.
And
drink.
Whiskey.
Ooh, yeah. All right, more questions.
How can I be as smart as Noah?
Quintessentially.
he
Is
Dumb.
So
When.
he
is
Dumbing.
there's
No.
nothing.
dumb.
Duh.
And maybe one more of those deep philosophical questions before we move on to the second half of the presentations.
Where do babies come from?
Thankfully.
They
Come.
From
a
Vagina.
Yep.
All right. Great questions answered there. All right. And now you're going to see me again as I come back on stage. All right. So intermission's now over. Congratulations. You made it. Unless you didn't, put your butt right back where it's been all day. I'm looking at you through your screen. Now we've got Caroline presenting. And then up after that is going to be Brian. And then there's all the voting that has to happen, which is very exciting. So, Caroline, go ahead, take it away.
Poison! Poison! Look out for these skulls and crossbones. I mean, generally, right? You see a skull and crossbone, you shouldn't think, yay, I'll put whatever's in that bottle inside me. No. So, like, A, keep away from skulls and crossbones in general. Not good. Pirates, a dead person, your own reflection if you're a ghost. Like, just no. So, next slide, please. Next slide. Happy Halloween. Okay? Because that's what we're calling this time right now. Every day is fucking Halloween. I wake up, Halloween. I read the news, Halloween. Okay? It's Halloween time right now. And do you know what we're going to do on Halloween, the 31st of October? We're going to cry. Okay, next slide. Toxicology. Peter H. O'Donnell, MD. Okay? Department of Medicine. That's who I am. Okay? I know about two things. Toxicology and Halloween. Next slide, please. So I put a lot of substances in me over the years for you, okay? I don't have legs for you, okay? So there's a million emergency department visits due to poisonings. Only a few of them are me, okay? At home, yes, I poisoned myself. Single substances, multiple substances went inside me, okay? I drank bleach, not because Trump said. In fact, that's when I stopped, okay? So more than 50% of children in less than 6 years drank shit they shouldn't have drank. And even, do you know why? Because those caps where you push them down and twist them, they're not that effective. In fact, small hands can get right under there and inside. Okay? Why is the reason that people poison themselves? 83% unintentional. 10% of that therapeutic error. So like a doctor did it, who should know better. And 70% intentional suicide attempt. Wow. Or cry for help, mom. So, but what they're missing is if you just do it just to get into the University of Illinois. I forgot what it said. Okay, next slide. Yeah, this is true, what's going on here. So don't be one of these people that's like, oh, graphs aren't true. This is all true data that went in that. So drugs involved in US overdose deaths up to 2017. We stopped counting up to 2017. We're like, we've got it now. We can see what's going to happen with this graph. So yeah, opioids, big on the up. Feel great. They feel great. Opioids, very little come down from those. Heroin is great. I don't have to tell you that. Just look like on the streets, people like, ugh, because it's great. Semi-synthetic opioids, some great stuff there. Methadone, ecstasy, speed, you know the rest. Cocaine, I mean, it's a freaking classic, right? Cocaine. I used to sell it, but now I'm not allowed to, and I get regular drug tests here, but I know how to fake them. And then methadone is on the down, really. And this is just, yeah, methadone is on the way down for most people, because it's just not as good as heroin. Look at heroin. Never had a better time than 2017. Okay, next slide, please. Important percentage of misused prescription drugs, right? So legal drugs and illegal drugs, it's like the same, right? It's the same amount of deaths from either of those. So what does that say to us? You might as well get high. You might as well. Because like a doctor is going to kill you just as much as a heroin dealer. Okay, they're both criminals. Okay, next and last slide, I think. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know how to change that, the way it's been squished like that. But like, I took a little something before, so this looks normal to me. But like, let's just say that the most frequent human exposures, and this is just my own personal research, analgesics, so that's like stuff like to get to sleep, sedatives, yeah, for real, because like it's really hard to sleep after coke, and antidepressants, cardiovascular drugs. Yeah, I do have high blood pressure. Pesticides are really high up there. So yeah, just like basically in summary, just like, take drugs, yes, but take good drugs also. Don't just randomly take drugs. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much, Caroline. All right. What a delightful, intoxicating feeling that presentation left me with. Brian, take us home. Come on stage.
Thanks. Yes.
So good.
Thank you
There
for
you go.
having me. I wanna just welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My project here, of course, is well-being and consciousness. Conscious living is a way of life. It is for all the people behind me, and I just want they're sedated, but for right now, because they've taken care of themselves. This is a pilot project for your well-being and my pocketbook. So I just want you to notice that is my wife there in the front. Yes. We are expecting our second child. Thanks so much for caring. Let's move on to the next slide and get to it. Now, pregnancy, you might think is just a walk in the park. It's a slow walk in the park, actually, let me tell you. I know well how slow things can go, but a healthy pregnancy, take your time. Do not worry so much about the weight gain, because you're definitely you're gonna get fat. And a part of that is a healthy feeling about being fat. Don't be shamed. You're gonna get diabetes. You could get hypertension. These are all just normal aspects of pregnancy. Childhood obesity, that's gonna be on you, okay? Later on, if you just keep feeding that kid that fatty stuff. Another story though. So be careful when you're pregnant. Obviously, there are risky behaviors. I just want to say, you just don't eat so much. Basically, you want to be careful. You want to eat a balance of vegetables, fruits, and grain. Most people underestimate grains. I'm a real keeper of them. I really think you should just keep ingesting just so you get that extra bloatedness. Careful about low physical activity. You're gonna have to be careful. You gotta keep up the weight. In order to get weight gain, you're gonna have to sit around a while. Okay, next slide. Now, we do have a lot of recommendations here, and I want to say, if you are an underweight woman, we're gonna ask that you're gonna have to study a lot, study more than you think you need, in order to get a healthy diet of education. Some people, the morbidly obese women, you don't have to worry about studying much. You can just get dumb and fat. I want to move right on though, because you might be misunderstanding my point of view. Really, don't misunderstand. We're here to take care of women's health. But you got to know how to exercise, carefully exercise so that you know what your limit is. But do definitely have a good social support program, because, as you're gaining weight, you're going to need people to talk you down from that cliff. Next slide, please. Now, our Fit for Two program, that's just the man and the woman. And we have some good ideas, concepts where you can take care of you and yourself and your pregnancy. So it's really fit for three. So first of all, I want you to realize that pregnant women from the low socioeconomic backgrounds, they're the ones that you got to care about the most, because they're not going to be eating so well. They need to get up there. They need to be fit. So if you see a person who's just needs a hand, needs some extra clothing, needs a meal, it's up to you. It's just not fit for two. It's fit for the world, fit for the earth. All right. We have to improve our rates of nutrition for all people by getting them to eat more than they need. All right. Let's move on to the next slide and get busy with the FIT program. we have a number of theories here that we want to make sure that you're aware of. I'm afraid we don't have time to go into all of them because they're mostly just perceived. They're not real. They're just things that you can think about for a while. For example, susceptibility, severity, benefits. These are all things that they're not real. If you do a wellness program, you can imagine they're real. And that's good enough for me. It's good enough for you and your baby. Now, the networks that we have, they function for social influence. They also have some social programming. We're here, the Fit for Two has a way of fitting all your different support systems, including emotional support, appraisal support, undercarriage support. That I didn't have time to add that bullet in there, but be aware, it's going to be a little bit loose down there. You're going to have to keep up those muscle programs. That's another slide program. Let's go on to the next one, shall we? Next slide. So fidelity. I had none, and I lost my first wife for infidelity. So I would ask that most of you keep aware of that, because you're not going to get through it without a little fidelity, just a little. 75% of it, wishful thinking. There's going to be a little bit of slack here. Don't worry, you're going to make it. Your baby's going to make it, because every 2 weeks we're going to have a coordinator there who's going to be holding a 90-minute workshop just for all the different aspects. Careful, he's really hot, and he might lead you to that infidelity. That's how I got into trouble too. Next slide. Next slide. So I think you've really realized that there's a whole breadth of work here that you can take on with you. Each session that we're going to put in the Fit for Two is going to have the following components. So there's going to be journal and goal setting. Who doesn't like to write? I like to write. You can do creative dances. You can do clay work. We do a lot of group sharing and discussion work in Fit for Two. But we do a lot of fucking. Physical activity is where it all begins and where it all ends. I want to thank you so much for being a part of my program, Fit for Two, Fit for Life. Good night.
Thank you so much, Bren. We are now to that part of our night where you get to vote. You, the viewers, get to go to vote.zbshit.com or vote.zoombullshit.com if you are so inclined to type out more crap on your phone, but don't do that. Do it the easy way. Go there, vote. We're waiting for those votes to stream in, and we're going to answer like a question or maybe two before we look at the results of that voting. So please vote, and we're going to make you happy like that. We are almost done. I'm going to take a moment to answer questions you didn't have, and then we'll have everyone answer questions. First of all, please donate. There's a link on Twitch to donate to Comedy Cafe Berlin, which is our favorite venue. You might have noticed that there were two guys up who looked kind of like they might be related. Well, they run that place and we really love it. So there's a link, donate. Give us more slides. That's how you donate to us. So we need those slides to keep these shows happening. Email them, slides@zoombullshit.com. Please. Your best slides become the best presentations. If you missed a part of the show and you want to go back and watch it, or maybe you just straight up love us, check out our YouTube channel. Go ahead and like and subscribe. I have to say that because now I guess I'm a YouTuber. Sorry, Mom. YouTube.zoombullshit.com will redirect you straight to our channel. That way you don't have to remember anything. We don't like to have to remember shit. That's why we give PowerPoint presentations. If you just love us, that's fantastic. We have a Facebook page at Zoom Bullshit. And if you are looking for other things, you could just shoot us an email. WeKidnapDogs@zoombullshit.com. Just like that one right there. All right, if I could, we've got a little bit more voting. Remember, vote.zoombullshit.com or vote.zbshit.com. Before we announce our winners, let's answer a question. If I could get everyone else back out here on stage, that would be fantastic. I'm gonna disappear myself. We'll answer a question. All right, we're missing a Caroline.
Ew.
Okay, I can hear but not see.
Ew. Oh, I don't know. My view options are going weird.
All right, well, let's hear our question.
Should all drugs be treated equal? Should all drugs be treated equally?
One
Particularly
Good.
trip.
Is
enough.
to
Give
One
the
Perspective.
you
want.
All right. I think we've got our answer there. Summer, if we have another good question, we could go for it. Otherwise, we can announce the winners.
I found the contact lens, if anyone's curious.
Nice. That's a serious win.
Did it?
All right.
We do have another good question.
One great question, and then we'll announce our winners.
Where did Brian's hands go?
Mysterious.
Hands.
Disappear.
sometimes.
That's
Life.
There you go. All right. So I am looking at some results here for the winners. It's pretty exciting. In third place, we have presenting Toxicity. Caroline, congratulations. Third place is for Toxicity. I think System of a Down would be proud. And for a tie for first place or second place, we'll make it a second place tie. So this is both first and second place. We have Brian presenting Fit for Two and Josh presenting on How to Kill a Mockingbird.
well, Josh.
Those are our two winners this week. So they will co-present the final presentation. So if I could get them to stay on stage for right now, we're gonna set that clock going.
I want to apologize for any fat shaming. I meant no harm. Really.
That's
That
okay.
was really not my intention.
Well,
Brian,
clearly
we can let
people
you-
love it, right?
All right, good.
We can let you make it up in the final presentation.
Here we go. Thank you.
We got a chance for penance right here. All right. So if we could get you guys to stay on stage, everybody else, take yourself off stage. Even me. We'll get you guys going. All right. So, take it away, gentlemen.
That's right. We're here presenting Magnon's applications of free particles at high density.
That's right. I'm Ryan. This is my partner, Ulf.
Hello. We are from the Stamper Kern Group at UC Berkeley, and it is August 12th, 2015.
High density is our life. That's all I can say. And I want to thank you for having us. Next slide. Tools are how it runs.
Right.
Yeah. Tools are where it all happens. We have the spiners. These are different gases that we all can relate to because they come from the spine. These are gaseous things that are in our bodies that we are now turning into more of a force of nature, almost a thermometric coolant. That
A lot of you would call this farting. A lot of you would call this farting. We call it spinal gases.
That's right. That's right. If you weren't aware before, a magnon is a measurement of a spinal fart.
That's exactly right. And we use interferometry to measure how much you're farting.
Yeah.
The first application, of course, is measuring dipolar forces. That means how much fart is going both front and back.
The ideal amount will be learned in our next slides, of course. So and related in our further discussions and illustrations. Let's go to the next slide. So obviously these are formulas that show the chemistry of the spinal fart. We have the superfluids that combine are definitely there in the first formula, which says fart is equal to the prenatural rectification of the duplomatous sphincter rotation. That's
That's right.
what you can see in the first one.
Correct.
Both of you
and,
want to go into the second one there?
I would love to. Now, scalar, of course, when we're talking about scalar and spiner, what we're referring to are regular and silent but deadly. So you see the second one there, colloquially known as silent but deadly, is a spiner fart. You can see there that the blue and the red shows you the amount that is going to be hitting your senses, and that's going to be stinky. It's going to be a stinky fart.
That's the truth there, Ulf. You can see by that formula there on the bottom right there, that's a measurement of fart. The negative one measurement can never equal zero measurements. No,
Right.
it is the plus. The plus
It's
one.
The +1. It's -1 sound, +1 smell.
You think that they're all equal, but there's a sensual differentiation that it might be there in the formula, but it's definitely not there in the smell.
That's right. Slide 4.
Well,
So we've gone over silent but deadly and regular farts, and now, of course, we do also have to go over sharding, and we refer to these as spiners. We refer to these as spiner superfluids.
now, many of us we are laughing because it does hit us in a very it gets us. We know that this is some could say silly. But this is a lifestyle, and it's a way of life. And we need to laugh in order to take it seriously.
That's right. Now, superfluids, or sharts, have two inert states, all right? The ferromagnetic, all right? And this is when it runs down your leg and into your shoe. And the polar, and that's when it just goes up and down your butt crack.
That's right. I think we should mention the ferromagnetic tends to it is because of a metal imbalance in the body. Correct. And this is often attributed to diet.
Right.
And I think
that's why we recommend wearing copper bracelets as much as possible to make sure that you don't get any ferromagnetic superfluids.
Right. I wrap just rubber bands of copper. Just wrap it right around my thigh.
That's right.
As a way to capture the overflows.
Let's get to
the spheres. Those spheres there. I just got to mention the spheres there on the right. Yeah. These are sweat glands, and as they excrete backwards, as you can see, the ferromagnetic it squishes backwards. Squish is not a scientific term, but we feel like it's appropriate for this.
We kind of have to talk down so you understand what we're saying.
That's right. That's right. The sweat gland there on the bottom reflects the polar magnification of the. It's another discussion there. You can reference it there on the bottom.
That's right.
Find it online. For time, let's move on.
All right. And we got a bunch of animations here. We're going to have fun with this collective excitations of ferromagnetic superfluid. All right.
We love excitations. Can I say, my God, the summer of 2016 was incredible.
Unbelievable.
Collective excitations.
That's right. That's now, I know it is August 12th, 2015 right now, but we have managed to time travel because of our collective excitations of ferromagnetic superfluids. Now, this is one thing about superfluids, all right, about ferromagnetic superfluids, about sharts that run down your leg, is that they will give you the ability to time travel due to the symmetries of order parameters telling us about those ferromagnets. Let's get the next animation going.
That's definitely, as you can see, we're going to start to slant as the fart if you need a little bit of a right cheek slant, you need to go that direction. And when you're doing that, you'll be aware of everyone to your left will be moving away from you. That's the magnetic attraction and distraction. of the superfluids.
There you go.
You have to be aware of it. That's me in the middle. There, the third one over to the left. That's Ulf there, the fourth one over.
Probably don't recognize us, but just have to trust us on that one.
True.
Next animation.
Yep. Well, energy. What can you? I mean, how does energy transfer and travel? As we talked, it's gravity.
That's right. And nothing's free. All right, nothing's free.
No, it'll
So,
cost you.
You know, some people travel more than other people. That really depends on how much they're spending on it.
That's right. And how much you're going to invest in your spinor.
Hey, how much work do you want to put in? That's the question.
That is, this is maybe too esoteric for this discussion.
That's right. Oh, and we are way behind time. So
let's go.
Here we go. Let's just power through the next few slides.
Shall we? The gapless modes, they're associated with each broken symmetry.
Right.
These symmetrical balances and arrows. It's all about how you're feeling inside. Do you need an intestinal distress? Which way is the fart go?
That's right.
I mean,
next slide.
Next.
All right. So
you
know what? This is actually
this
is proprietary information. I don't know how this ended up in here. Let's go to the next slide.
Yeah, that's really over the top.
All right. Now here's where we get into exciting stuff.
It's true. It gets going here, and it's a sort of a fill in the blank as we go here. So we're going to start with a massive upsurge of intestinal distress. That's the B. Okay, the B is going upwards.
B for beans.
That's right. The sphere, the gland, the sweat gland is building up. It's building up from the inside as we begin the formula. Let's get to the next animation. Let's see what happens.
Oh, there's a little bit of RF coming in, a little bit of refried beans coming in from the side. What's that gonna do? Let's find out. Next animation. Oh.
Sets you up for a mercurial little middle match. It's the middle match. It's just that little poke in the middle that makes you go,
That's the one where you have your headphones in, you have to take them out. Did anyone else hear that? Oh no, it was just me. Okay.
Let's move on.
Next slide.
Well, this pretty much says more than you need to know.
Really, if you don't understand this, then what are we doing here?
I have no clue. The important line is the red line. The 789.965. This shares really the fulcrum effect of a fart and how your friendships will disintegrate should your intestines explode.
Slide 9.
It's electricity. It's more than that.
That's right. It's beans.
Magnons. Parent magnons.
Will, you could just hit enter and just let's blast through these 5. That's right.
Yes,
this is nuclear beans.
Power down. Yes, this is ambidextrous monotony.
Right, exactly.
Then we have. This is when you're just shitting yourself. You just see red.
It's so great. It's like
it's getting harsh, and this is when your intestines just. That's just squashing everything down. Just you need a hand here. You need a help. Next.
Okay, that's right. We're gonna take 5 seconds for each of the animations on this slide. Here we go. Imaging. All right, this is when you're on the dance floor and you're spinning and you're going crazy and you're getting into it. And then you get a ferromagnetic superfluid and everyone can see it because there's a black light on. All right.
That's right. And these are the little disco lights there that are showing you which way to dance so that you don't shit and step on it.
Right.
This picture here,
people won't see it.
We're hoping.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. It's hopeful. It's not science anymore. It's hope. Next slide.
You see that?
No.
Okay.
No friends. Everyone's gone.
Everyone is gone.
You're alone, dancing on the floor, all by yourself.
That's right.
Yep. That way to the exit. Everyone's left.
Just get the hell out.
Yeah. And make yourself a drink because you're falling. You're falling
You're
down.
falling down. Might as well just go down into the basement where you belong.
All right. Thank you guys so much. That's the end of it. That I forgot to have a closer slide for that one. I am so sorry, but I'm not that sorry.
Quite all
No,
right.
that's quite okay.
That was the shit, guys. That was the shit.
Oh,
All right.
no.
Yeah, I said it there. I went and I did it. I went and I did it. We're almost done, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank everyone. If I could get all of our performers back up here on stage. That's Sarah, Josh, Noah, Caroline, Brian. These are the ones who are here to entertain you, our lovely, lovely viewers. We know there's at least 8 of you because you voted, so thanks. That's enough. So I also want to thank Summer so much for putting all of this together. She is the one behind the scenes who makes this all work. She's running the Twitch channel, the forms for voting, all of that other stuff, making sure there's audio so you can hear us, which is the best. So she's certainly the brains behind the operation, and I'm the tie. We also want to thank you guys, our viewers, for tuning in. Please give us more slides. I know I say it a lot, but we need these slides because if we have to go to the shitty slides, they won't be as fun. So send us the fun shit, and then people have to present it. So keep these shows happening. Email those slides to slides@zoombullshit.com. If you have questions, no. Go fuck yourself. There are no questions anymore. The only answer we have here is scotch, and I'm running low, so I'm going to supplement with peanut butter from a spoon. With that, we'd like to thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been Zoom Bullshit episode. I don't even know. I can't count that high. That's why I have presentations. We'll see you guys next week right here on Zoom Bullshit. And we'll have Brian and Josh back as winners to present again, if they want. Get invited. All right. Thanks so much, everybody.
Good show. Good show.